The air was thick with tension. The alien soldier stood at the edge of the rocky arena, his sharp black eyes locked on the impossible scene before him. The apex predator was here. The creature's size alone could freeze the blood in anyone's veins. Its skin looked like it was made of armored plates, each one dark and shiny, as if forged from some alien metal. Its claws were long curved and sharp enough to slice through a battle drone in one strike. The alien had seen this beast before. He had seen it tear apart squads of trained soldiers in seconds. But this time, it wasn't fighting soldiers. It was facing a single human. The alien soldier blinked, unable to understand what he was seeing. The human had no armor, no plasma rifle, no heavy exosuit. Just a worn combat shirt, dark pants, and boots. His hands were bare. The alien turned to the commander standing next to him. "Is this a joke?" he whispered. The commander shook his head. "No joke." The human volunteered. The alien looked back at the scene, his heart pounding. Volunteered? No sane warrior would volunteer for death. The apex predator growled, the sound echoing off the stone walls like thunder. "It's golden." Eyes locked on the human. Drool dripped from its jagged teeth, sizzling when it touched the hot ground. It took one slow step forward, then another. The human didn't move. His eyes were calm, almost bored. The alien soldier felt his throat tighten. What is he doing? The crowd of alien spectators, hidden behind the protective barrier, started to murmur. "It will be over in seconds. The human is already dead. Watch, the beast will bite his head first." The alien soldier wanted to agree, but something about the human stillness made him pause. There was no fear in those eyes, no panic. Only focus. The predator lowered itself, muscles tensing like coiled springs. The alien soldier's hands clenched. He knew what came next. The beast struck. Its massive body lunged forward, claws slashing through the air with deadly speed. The alien's heart jumped. This was the moment the human would be split in two, but he wasn't. The human moved so fast. It was almost invisible. He stepped to the side, his boots kicking up dust, and the claws missed by a hair's breadth. The beast stumbled, just for a second. The alien soldier's eyes widened. He dodged. The predator roared in frustration and spun, its tail whipping through the air like a steel cable. The human ducked under it, sliding across the ground. In one quick motion, he rose to his feet and drove his fist into the back of the creature's knee. Crack. The sound was sharp, unnatural. The apex predator roared again, stumbling as one leg buckled slightly. The alien soldier stared, his mind spinning. That's impossible." The commander beside him said nothing. His gaze was locked on the human. The human stepped back, breathing slow and steady. There was no celebration in his face, only concentration. He was studying the predator's every move, like a hunter studying prey. The beast turned, its golden eyes burning with rage now. It had been hurt something that almost never happened. With a deafening roar, it charged again. The alien soldier felt the ground shake under his feet. The creature's speed was terrifying, its claws flashing. But once again, the human slipped. Past, ducking and weaving, each movement precise and controlled. From the stands, an alien voice shouted, "Why doesn't he attack?" "He's just dodging." The alien soldier almost answered, but then he saw the truth. The human was attacking, but in small, calculated strikes. A hit to the ribs here, a punch to the joint there, each one targeting a weak spot. He was wearing the beast down. The predator growled and lunged again, this time with its jaws wide open, teeth ready to crush bone. The human didn't move away. Instead, he stepped into the attack. The alien soldier's breath caught as the human's hand shot forward, gripping the beast's lower jaw. With a burst of raw strength, he slammed his other fist upward into the top of its head. The predator's mouth snapped shut with a painful crack. And the creature staggered back, stunned. The alien soldier's eyes were wide now. He's not just surviving, he's winning. The human's calm expression didn't change. He took a slow step forward, then another. Keeping his eyes locked on the predator, the beast snarled. But there was something new in its voice, now a hint of uncertainty. From somewhere behind the alien soldier, a voice muttered, "No one makes the apex predator back away." The predator roared again, but it was no longer the same confident roar. It lunged desperately, swiping with both claws. The human spun away from the first strike, grabbed the second claw mid-swing, and yanked. The beast's arm twisted in a direction it wasn't meant to, and another sickening crack filled the air. The predator screamed in pain. The alien soldier took a step forward, his chest tight. This can't be real. The human didn't let go. He pulled the beast toward him and slammed a knee into its jaw. Blood sprayed across the dusty ground. For a moment, everything went quiet. Even the crowd held its breath. The predator stumbled, lowering itself onto one knee. It glared at the human, but its movements were slower now, weaker. The alien soldier realized something he never thought possible. The apex predator was afraid. The human tilted his head slightly, studying the beast like a teacher correcting a student. His voice was calm when he finally spoke. "You're not so scary up close." Then he moved again, faster than the alien soldier's eyes could follow. He struck the creature's throat with an open hand, forcing it back. The predator tried to stand, but the human grabbed its neck and held it down. The alien soldier could see the tension in the human's arms, the sheer force behind that grip. The predator thrashed, but each movement grew weaker. Finally, the beast stopped moving. The human stood there, breathing heavily, his hand still resting on the predator's lifeless body. The crowd erupted into noise, shouts, disbelief, curses. Some aliens cheered. Others simply stared in shock. The alien soldier felt his knees weaken. He looked at the commander beside him. What is he?" The commander didn't look away from the human. "That," he said quietly, "is why humans are feared across the galaxy." The human finally turned his head, scanning the crowd. His eyes locked with the alien soldiers for just a second. There was no arrogance there, no cruelty, only a calm, almost unsettling confidence. The alien soldier shivered. He had seen the apex predator kill without hesitation. But now, he had seen something even more dangerous. And deep inside, he knew this wasn't the end. Somewhere, another apex predator was watching. The arena was silent after the human's victory, but the silence did not last long. Whispers turned into murmurs. Murmurs turned into loud voices. The aliens in the stands spoke in disbelief, some even shouting over each other. "That's not possible. He killed it with his bare hands. I have never seen the apex predator fall." The alien soldier remained frozen in place, his eyes still locked on the lifeless beast. His mind replayed what he had just seen, trying to make sense of it. But no matter how many times he thought about it, the answer stayed the same. This should not have happened. The commander's voice broke the moment. "Do you know why they call it the apex predator?" he asked, his tone low, almost as if speaking the name too loudly would invite danger. The alien soldier shook his head. "I know it's deadly, I've seen it kill, but I don't know the full story." The commander's eyes narrowed. "Then, listen carefully." They both stood there, looking at the massive body lying on the ground. The commander's voice was calm, but there was weight in every word. "These creatures are not just killers," he said. "They are the perfect hunters. Fast, strong, intelligent. They have instincts sharper than any weapon we've built. And they don't stop until their prey is dead." The alien soldier glanced at the predator's claws, still glistening with venom. "I've heard they hunt in packs," he said quietly. The commander nodded. "Yes, a single one can destroy a squad of trained warriors. A pack can wipe out an entire outpost before anyone can even send a distress signal. There's no safe distance. They can track you across any terrain, desert, ice, jungle, it doesn't matter. If they mark you as prey, you will not see the sunrise. The alien soldier remembered something from his early days in the military. A rumor about a squad that went missing in the Black Void swamps. They had gone in to capture a predator alive. For study, none of them returned. Only their torn armor and broken weapons were found. The commander kept speaking. Do you know why this one was here, in the arena? It wasn't for sport. It was a message. The apex predators wanted to remind us of our place, to remind us we are not safe, that they can take whatever they want from this galaxy. The alien soldier's voice was low, and the human ruined that message. The commander looked at him, his expression unreadable. Yes, and that is why things will get complicated. Before the alien soldier could ask what he meant, the sound of heavy footsteps echoed from behind. The gates at the far end of the arena slid open, and several alien officers walked in. Their uniforms were marked with the crest of the Galactic Council. One of them, a tall, thin figure with pale blue skin, approached the commander. The council wants the human brought in for questioning. Immediately, the commander frowned. He's not one of ours. Why does the council care? The officer's eyes flicked to the human, who was still standing over the predator's body, wiping blood from his hands. Because, the officer said, what he did here will not go unnoticed. Not by the predators, and not by the council's enemies. The alien soldier watched as two guards approached the human. They spoke to him quietly, but the human only nodded once and followed without resistance. Where are they taking him? The alien soldier asked. The officer replied without looking back. To decide what to do with him. Before the predators decide for us. Later that day, the alien soldier found himself in the mess hall, sitting alone. But the victory he had witnessed refused to leave his mind. Every detail replayed in his memory. The speed, the precision, the raw strength. Across the table, a young alien recruit leaned forward. You were there, weren't you? You saw him fight? The soldier nodded slowly. Yes, I saw it. What was it like? The recruit asked, eyes wide. The soldier hesitated. It was unnatural. Like watching a storm fight a mountain and the storm wins. The recruit shivered. Do you think the predators will come for him? The soldier's gaze drifted to the window, where the dark shape of the arena could still be seen. No, he said finally. They won't just come for him. The recruit frowned. Then who? The soldier's voice dropped to a whisper. All of us. That night the alien soldier couldn't sleep. His quarters were quiet, but his mind was loud. He kept thinking about the commander's warning, about the council's sudden interest in the human. Then, just as he began to drift off, the lights in his room flickered. A low hum filled the air. His communicator activated without him touching. "IT," a distorted voice spoke. "You saw him." The soldier sat up sharply. "Who is this?" "You saw him kill one of our kind," the voice continued, calm but cold. "That human is dangerous, too dangerous." The soldier's skin crawled. "Are you a predator?" There was a pause. Then the voice said, "Tell your council. Tell them to hand him over. Or more will come, and next time, we will not stop." With one body. The signal cut out. The soldier sat there in the dark, heart racing. He knew what this meant. The fight in the arena hadn't ended anything. It had started something much bigger. Somewhere out there, the predators were watching. And they were already planning their revenge. The next morning, the soldier went to the training grounds. The human was there, standing alone, practicing strikes. In the dirt. He moved with the same precision as before, each punch and kick sharp, controlled, and deadly. The soldier approached slowly. "They're coming for you," he said. The human didn't stop moving. "I know." The soldier frowned. "You don't seem worried." The human threw one last punch, then turned to face him. "Where I'm from, things have been trying to kill me since I was born. Predators don't scare me." The soldier stared at him for a long moment. "They should," the human smiled faintly. "Maybe, but I think I scare them more." That night, far away on a desolate moon, in the shadows of a blackened forest, a pack of apex predators gathered. Their leader, a massive beast with scars across its face, lifted its head and growled. The sound was not of rage, but of something far more dangerous. Hunting season had begun. The morning sky over the military outpost was a pale gray, heavy with the promise of rain. The alien soldier stood near the training yard, watching the human move through a series of drills. Each motion was clean and sharp, like a blade cutting through the air. "You've been at it since before sunrise," the soldier said. The human didn't stop. "That's normal," he replied. "If you want to be ready, you start before the world wakes up." The soldier crossed his arms. "You act like you've been preparing for this fight your whole life." The human's eyes flicked toward him. "I have." There was no arrogance in his voice, just a plain statement of fact. The soldier felt a shiver run down his spine. "Tell me," he said, "how does someone prepare for something like that?" He nodded toward the distant arena, where the corpse of the apex predator had been removed the day before. The human finally stopped moving. "You think that was the first thing I've fought?" "No, that was just the latest." The soldier waited, saying nothing. The human's gaze turned distant. "On Earth, we grow up with predators too. They're not as big as yours, but they're clever. They hunt in the dark, they adapt. And if you're weak, you don't last long." The soldier tilted his head. "But you didn't just survive. You fought like you knew how to take it down." A faint smile touched the human's lips. "That's because I learned a long time ago, everything has a weakness. You just have to look hard enough to find it." Before the soldier could ask more, a voice rang out across the yard. "You two inside, now." It was the commander. His face was hard, his tone sharp. They followed him into the strategy room, where a holographic map flickered in the center. The image showed the sector surrounding the outpost. Several red markers pulsed along the edges. "What are those?" the soldier asked. "Predator sightings," the commander said. "Too many for comfort." He looked at the human. "They're moving in faster than expected." Your fight in the arena didn't scare them, it challenged them. The human stepped closer to the map. "Then we should be ready when they come." The commander's jaw tightened. "We can't win against a full pack. Not here, not without reinforcements." The soldier frowned. "How many in a pack?" The commander's answer was grim. 6, sometimes 8. And each one as dangerous as the one you fought. The room was silent for a moment. Then the human said, "Good. I work better with numbers." The commander stared at him. "You're insane." The human shrugged. "Maybe. Or maybe I just know that running will only make them chase harder." Later, in the mess hall, the soldier sat across from the human. "You really believe you can fight a whole pack?" he asked. The human took a bite of the bland alien. "Rations. Belief has nothing to do with it. I've fought worse odds before." The soldier leaned forward. "Like what?" The human's eyes darkened slightly. "When I was 19, my unit got dropped into a jungle to rescue civilians from raiders. We were ambushed. Out of 20 men, I was the only one who made it out. I didn't have a rifle by the end. Just a knife." The soldier swallowed hard. "And you killed them all?" The human didn't answer right away. "Not all. Some I left alive, so they could tell the others what I did." The soldier sat back, unsure if he should feel impressed or afraid. That evening, the rain came. It drummed against the metal walls of the outpost, filling the corridors with a low, constant roar. The soldier was on watch duty, scanning the perimeter with his scope. For most of the night, nothing moved. Then just before dawn, he saw it too. golden eyes in the tree line, glowing faintly in the dark. He hit the alarm, the sirens wailed, and soldiers rushed to defensive positions. The commander barked orders over the coms. Positions! Stay sharp, they'll come fast and hard. The soldiers scanned again. The golden eyes were gone. The human appeared beside him, calm as ever. Don't focus on one, he said. They never come alone. As if on cue, a second set of eyes appeared, then a third, a fourth, and more. The tree line was alive with movement. The soldier's pulse quickened. There's at least 7. The human checked the blade strapped to his thigh. Good. I was worried it might be too easy. The soldier stared at him. You're not normal. Neither are they, the human replied. The first predator broke from the tree line with a roar, sprinting toward the wall. Energy rifles fired, bright bursts lighting up the rain. The beast dodged most of the shots, leaping high, claws out. The human was already moving, sprinting to meet it. He slid under its leap, slashing its leg as it passed overhead. The creature landed awkwardly, stumbling, and the defending soldiers finished it with a volley of plasma fire. The soldier barely had time to breathe before 2 more charged. The human was in the middle of them, moving like water, turning their size against them. He ducked, struck, and pivoted, each hit aimed at joints or soft tissue. The soldier watched in disbelief. It wasn't luck, it was knowledge. The human knew exactly where to hit. After the second wave fell, the commander's voice cut through the coms. They're pulling back. The soldier scanned the tree line. The glowing eyes were gone again. The rain fell harder. The human stood in the mud, breathing steady, watching the forest. They're not gone, he said quietly. They're testing us. Next time, they'll come smarter. The soldier joined him. And if they do? The human looked at him with that same unsettling calm. Then I'll show them something worse than fear. Far beyond the outpost, in the black forest, the pack regrouped. Their leader sniffed the air, the scent of blood mixing with rain. It had seen many prey over its lifetime, but none like the human. It growled low, a sound that promised violence. This was no longer a simple hunt. This was war. The storm had not stopped for 2 days. Rain poured over the outpost, turning the dirt paths into rivers of mud. The sky was heavy with dark clouds, and the air carried a smell the alien soldier had learned to dread, the scent of predators. Commander stood in the command tower, eyes locked on the radar display. Green dots marked the outpost patrols. Red dots moved slowly at the edge of the screen. They're close, the commander said. The soldier glanced at the human, who stood by the doorway, leaning on the wall. You're not wearing armor? The soldier asked. The human shook his head. Armor slows me down. I need speed. You'll need more than speed when they get here, the commander warned. The human gave a faint smile. I'll take what I can get. The rain masked the sound of their approach at first. Then, faintly, the soldier heard it, deep, rumbling growls. One, then another. Then many. The commander's voice came over the base coms. All units ready positions. They're here. From the tree line, the predators emerged. They were faster. Then the soldier remembered, their bodies low to the ground, moving like shadows across the mud. Their golden eyes locked on the walls, their claws carving lines in the earth. The human moved to the front gate, hands relaxed, head tilted slightly. They'll try the sides first, he said. How do you know? The soldier asked, gripping his rifle tight. Because that's what I do, the human replied. The first attack came from the left flank. 3 predators burst from the shadows, leaping onto the wall with terrifying speed. Their claws shredded through metal plating as soldiers fired, the sound of plasma bursts echoing through the storm. The human sprinted toward them, his boots splashing through the mud. He grabbed the leg of the first predator as it landed, yanking it down hard. The beast roared as it hit the ground, and the human drove his knee into its throat, crushing it. The second predator lunged at him from behind, but he rolled aside, grabbing a discarded rifle from the ground. Instead of firing, he swung it like a club, smashing the stock against the predator's jaw. The alien soldier fired from above, hitting the third predator in the chest. It stumbled, and the human finished it with a blade to the neck, but there was no time to breathe. The front gate shook violently as another wave hit. Inside the command tower, the commander shouted into the comms, "Hold the gate. Don't let them breach." The soldier slid down the ladder, landing in the mud beside the human. "There's too many." The human's eyes scanned the chaos. "Then we make them fight on our terms." "What do you mean?" the soldier asked. "Bottleneck," the human said simply. He grabbed the soldier's shoulder and pointed to a narrow corridor between two supply buildings. "They can't all come through at once there. We hold them there, we last longer." The soldier hesitated, then nodded. "Let's go." They moved quickly, luring the predators toward the narrow gap. The beasts followed, their roars echoing in the storm. The first one lunged into the corridor, and the human met it head-on, slamming his blade under its chin. The second tried to climb over its fallen packmate, but the soldier's plasma fire burned through its chest. The rain turned the ground slick, but the human moved like the mud wasn't even there. Every movement was sharp, efficient. He ducked under claws, struck at joints, and used the predator's size against them. A deep roar cut through the battle. The soldier froze for a moment. It was different from the others, deeper, heavier. The human's face hardened. "That's the Alpha." From the darkness, it came a predator larger than any they'd seen yet. Its hide was covered in scars, and one eye was clouded white, but the other burned with golden fire. The Alpha didn't rush. It moved slowly, confidently, knowing the fight was already in its favor. The other predators formed a half-circle, giving it space. The human stepped forward, rain dripping from his hair. "This one's mine." The soldier grabbed his arm. "You can't fight it alone." "I can," the human said, pulling free. "I have to." The Alpha lunged, its massive claws slicing through the air. The human dodged, but the sheer force of the strike sent mud spraying across the walls. The Alpha turned, swiping again, and this time it caught the human across the side, tearing fabric and skin. The soldier shouted, but the human didn't stop. He rolled with the hit, planting his blade deep into the Alpha's forearm. The beast roared, but instead of retreating, it grabbed the human with its other claw, lifting him into the air. The soldier raised his rifle, but the human shouted, "Don't shoot." For a moment, it looked like the Alpha would crush him. But then, with a sudden twist, the human used the beast's own grip to flip himself onto its back. His arm locked around its throat, his legs gripping tight. The Alpha bucked wildly, slamming into walls, clawing at him, but he didn't let go. He struck again and again, at the base of its skull, each hit more brutal than the last. Finally, with a choked roar, the Alpha fell to its knees. The human wrenched his blade free and drove it deep into the creature's neck. The beast collapsed, unmoving. The remaining predators froze. Their golden eyes shifted between the fallen Alpha and the human standing over it. Then, one by one, they backed away into the rain, disappearing into the forest. The soldier ran to the human, helping him stand. Blood mixed with rain on his side, but his eyes were steady. "They'll be back," the human said quietly. The soldier frowned. "Why?" "You killed their Alpha." The human shook his head. "That's why. Now they'll want revenge." The commander approached, his face pale. "We'll fortify the base, double the patrols." The human looked toward the forest, his jaw tight. "It won't matter. Next time, they'll bring more." Far beyond the outpost, deep in the predator's territory, another pack gathered. This one was bigger, stronger. Their leader a massive black-scaled beast raised its head to the storm and roared. The hunt wasn't over. The rain stopped the next morning, but the air was heavy with silence. The forest around the outpost stood still, as if even the wind was afraid to move. The human sat on the edge of a supply crate, his side bandaged tightly. He watched the tree line. Without blinking. "You didn't sleep," the alien soldier said, walking over with a steaming cup of something hot. "Sleep gets you killed," the human replied, taking the cup. "They're planning something," the soldier frowned. "How?" "Do you know?" The human looked toward the forest. "Predators don't retreat unless they're regrouping. And they never forget who killed their alpha." Inside the command room, the commander studied the radar. No movement. No red dots. "This is strange," the commander said to the soldier. "If they were going to attack, they would have done it already." The human stepped inside. "No, they're watching. Testing. Waiting until we think they're gone." The commander crossed his arms. "You think they're studying us?" "I don't think," the human said. "I know. Bye." Afternoon, the base felt tense. Soldiers walked the walls, scanning the horizon. But the predators did not appear. Instead, strange things began to happen. A guard vanished from the east watchtower without a sound. His rifle was left behind, still loaded. An hour later, power flickered in the western sector. When engineers went to check, they found deep claw marks on the generator casing, but no sign of the predator that made them. "They're probing us," the human said, "hitting weak spots, making us nervous." That night, the forest lit up with small glowing eyes. Dozens, maybe hundreds. But they didn't charge. They stayed at the edge of the trees, watching. The soldier gripped his rifle. "Why aren't they attacking?" The human's voice was low. "Because they want us tired. Afraid they'll hit us when our guard drops." The commander ordered flares fired into the forest. Light burst across the trees, and for a brief moment, the shapes of the predators were visible. "They weren't alone. Those aren't just the same pack," the soldier whispered. The human's jaw tightened. "No, that's an army." The attack came at dawn. It started with smoke. Thick, choking clouds rolled in from the east. Soldiers coughed, unable to see. Then came the sound, hundreds of claws pounding the earth. The first wave hit the north wall. The second wave came from the west. The predators moved with precision this time, forcing defenders to split their forces. The human ran toward the main gate, cutting down a predator that leapt from the smoke. The alien soldier followed, firing into the haze. "They've learned," the soldier shouted. "They're using the smoke to hide." "They're not hiding," the human said grimly. "They're hurting us." The ground shook as something massive slammed into the wall. Metal tore like paper, and a beast unlike anything they had seen burst through. It was twice the size of the previous alpha, with black-scaled skin and long, jagged teeth. Its roar shook the air. "That's their leader," the soldier said in horror. The human stepped forward, but before he could reach it, another predator slammed into him from the side, pinning him to the mud. The soldier fired, killing it, but more poured through the gap. The commander's voice roared over the comms. "Fall back to the inner perimeter, now." They retreated through the narrow alleys of the outpost, predators close behind. The human grabbed the soldier's arm, pulling him into a storage building. "They're trying to push us into the center," the human said. "If they trap us there, we're done." The soldier caught his breath. "What do we do?" The human's eyes scanned the ceiling, the walls, the floor. "We set a trap." Minutes later, they burst into the command room. "We need explosives," the human said. "A lot of them." The commander hesitated. "You're talking about blowing the walls?" "I'm talking about collapsing the center of the outpost," the human said. "If we lure the big one and the pack into the courtyard, we can bury them under the rubble." "That's suicide," the commander said. The human stared at him. "It's survival." The plan moved fast. Soldiers planted charges in the walls and support beams around the Main courtyard. The human and the soldier took position at the far side, where the predators would see them. The black-scaled leader emerged from the smoke, its golden eyes fixed on the human. It roared, and the pack charged. The human and the soldier ran, leading them into the courtyard. Claws scraped on stone, roars filled the air, and the ground shook under their weight. The commander's voice came over the cum. "They're all in, say the word." The human waited until the black-scaled leader stepped into the center. Now, the ground erupted. Walls collapsed inward, crushing beasts under tons of stone and steel. The air filled with dust and the screams of the dying predators. When the dust cleared, the courtyard was a pit of rubble. The black-scaled leader lay pinned under a massive beam, still alive but unable to move. The human walked forward, blade in hand. The leader's golden eyes met his. There was no fear in them, only rage. Without a word, the human drove the blade deep into its throat. Silence fell over the outpost. The few surviving predators fled into the forest. The soldier looked at the human. "Is it over?" The human stared at the tree line for a long moment before answering. "No, they'll come again. This was only the second round." The commander stepped forward. "Then what do we do?" The human's voice was calm, almost cold. "We prepare, and next time we don't just defend. We hunt them." Far away, in the deep wilds, more predator packs were gathering. And somewhere beyond them, something even worse was watching. The game had changed. The forest was quiet after the battle, but the quiet didn't feel safe. It felt heavy, like something waiting just out of sight. The outpost was still standing, though most of it was damaged. The human stood by the wreckage, watching soldiers repair the walls. The alien soldier walked up beside him. "You're not fixing anything," she said. "I'm not staying here," he replied, her brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" "I mean I'm going after them," the human said. "Before they regroup. Before they send something worse," the commander overheard. "Absolutely not. We're holding our ground." "That's the problem," the human said. "We keep waiting for them to hit us. We need to hit them first." By nightfall, he had gathered a small strike team, 3 alien soldiers, 2 human marines, and himself. The alien soldier from the battle insisted on joining. The commander warned them at the gate. "The deep forest is their home. You'll be outnumbered." The human smiled faintly. "Good. I'm not here for their numbers. I'm here for their leaders." They moved into the trees. The deeper they went, the darker it became. The air was thick, the ground soft under their boots. Strange shapes moved in the shadows, but didn't attack. "They're watching us," one Marine whispered. "They want to see where we're going." The human replied. Hours later, they reached a ridge overlooking a black valley. Down below was something none of them expected, a massive stone structure, half buried in vines and dirt. It wasn't natural. It was built. The alien soldiers stared. "I thought they were just beasts." "They're not," the human said quietly. "They have cities." They climbed down toward the ruins. The walls were covered in claw marks, some fresh, some ancient. The air smelled of smoke and blood. Suddenly, a sound echoed from deep inside, a low, pulsing hum. "What is that?" Marine asked. The human didn't answer. He was already moving toward it. Inside, the structure was a maze of stone corridors. Symbols were carved into the walls, strange and sharp, like they were scratched in with claws. The deeper they went, the louder the hum became. In the main chamber, they found the source. It was a pit deep, dark, and glowing faintly red. Around it stood several predators, larger than the ones they'd fought before, wearing bone armor. One of them stepped forward. Its golden eyes locked on the human. It didn't growl. It spoke. "You killed our alpha." The alien soldiers froze. "It can talk," one whispered. The human didn't flinch. "I'll kill the rest of you too." The predator tilted its head. "You think this is our world? "You are wrong. You are prey. On our hunting ground." The predators attacked. Gunfire roared in the chamber, echoing off stone. 2 of the armored beasts went down, but more poured in from side tunnels. The alien soldier was knocked to the ground, a predator's claws inches from her throat before the human shot it through the skull. "We can't hold this." A Marine shouted. The human's eyes darted to the glowing pit. He pulled a grenade from his vest. "Then we don't hold. We take them with us." He yanked the pin and threw the grenade into the pit. The explosion shook the ground and the hum turned into a deafening roar. The pit wasn't just a hole. Something was inside it. A massive skeletal claw rose from the glow, followed by a head with hollow eyes and rows of jagged teeth. The predators around them screamed not in rage, but in fear. The alien soldier's voice trembled. "What did you wake up?" The human didn't look away. "Something they were afraid of." The ground cracked and the entire chamber began to collapse. They ran through the twisting corridors, the sounds of the thing in the pit following them, tearing stone, shattering walls. When they burst out into the forest, the night sky lit up red behind them. The structure was falling in on itself. Something huge was moving under the ground, heading toward the surface. The alien soldier grabbed his arm. "We have to warn the outpost." The human shook his head. "No, we need to get as far from here as we can." They ran through the forest for hours, chased by distant roars. When they finally stopped, the alien soldier turned to him. "You knew what you were doing back there," she said. He met her gaze. "Yes, I wanted them to have a bigger problem than us." "And now we all have a bigger problem," she said. Human looked back toward the distant glow in the sky. "Yeah, but sometimes chaos is the only way to win." Far away, in the ruins they left behind, the predators were no longer hunting humans. They were running for the first time in centuries. But whatever came out of that pit wasn't going to stop at them, and it was already moving toward the outpost. The outpost lay in uneasy silence. Soldiers patrolled the perimeter, eyes scanning the darkened forest. But no movement came, only the distant red glow that still lingered on the horizon. The human stood on a ridge overlooking the base. The alien soldier beside him. "It's coming," he said. "Who?" she asked, gripping her rifle. "The thing we woke," he replied. "And the predators aren't ready for it either." Inside the command room, the commander pored over radar data. "We've got movement," he said, "not just in the forest. The predators are retreating toward the outpost." The human nodded. "Good, we'll need them. This is bigger than us or them alone." The alien soldier frowned. "You're saying we're fighting with them?" "Yes," he said. "If we don't, that creature will destroy everything. It's not just hunting anymore, it's attacking everything in its path." The commander hesitated, then said, "Prepare defenses. Get every unit ready, human and alien." By nightfall, the first predators arrived. They didn't charge. They didn't roar. They simply stopped at the edge of the walls, watching, their golden eyes reflecting the firelight from the outpost. The human stepped forward. "We need a truce," he said. "This thing we unleashed, it doesn't care about territory. It kills everything. You want to survive, you fight with us." The Alpha's son, smaller than the previous leader, but still massive, growled softly. It was a warning, but also an acknowledgement. Slowly, the predators backed into the walls, circling the outpost as if preparing for battle. Hours passed. The soldiers and humans reinforced barricades. The predators prowled the perimeter, studying the terrain. The tension was unbearable. Everyone knew the creature was coming, and no one knew how to stop it. Then, the forest erupted. Trees splintered as a massive form broke through. It was taller than any predator, with jagged spines along its back and a mouth lined with endless teeth. Its eyes glowed with a sickly red light, and the ground shook with each step. The soldiers opened fire. Plasma bolts and bullets streaked through the air. The predators leapt into action, claws slashing, teeth tearing through anything in range. The human ran forward, dodging debris, cutting through smaller predators that had been manipulated or driven insane by the creature's presence. "Focus on the big one," he shouted to the soldiers and predators alike. "It's the only way to stop this." The creature roared, a sound that shook the base and made the walls tremble. It swiped a massive claw, sending debris flying. 2 soldiers fell, crushed beneath splintered metal. The alien soldier fired from above, hitting the creature's leg, but it barely flinched. The predators circled, trying to find an opening, but it was intelligent. Every move they made, it countered. The human darted in close, dodging the sweeping tail, and drove his blade into the creature's shoulder. It shrieked, a sound that made the human's ears bleed. "Keep going," he yelled. "Hit the joints, hit the weak points." For hours the battle raged. The human fought like a storm, moving between predators and soldiers, striking at anything vulnerable. Every strike he made seemed to teach the creature, making it adapt faster. At one point, it lunged at him, slamming him into a wall. Pain shot through his ribs, but he rolled free, flipping onto its back. The alien soldier threw a grenade beneath its claw, staggering it enough for him to strike again. The predators began to flank, circling it, drawing its attention in multiple directions. The humans and aliens fired relentlessly. The creature's red eyes flashed with fury as it realized it was surrounded. Then, unexpectedly, one of the predators broke ranks and lunged at the creature's throat. The human froze. That predator was trying to take it down alone. "Don't," he shouted. "We work together now." The predator hesitated, then pulled back. The human jumped between it and the creature, blade ready. "We survive this together, or none of us survive," he said. The predators seemed to understand. They adjusted, coordinated their attacks. The soldiers mimicked the movements, using cover and timing to strike where the creature's thick scales were thinner. Finally, after a brutal series of attacks, the creature faltered. Its movements slowed, its attacks became wild and desperate. The human ran forward, dodging its claws, and with one final strike, drove his blade into its glowing red chest. The creature collapsed with a deafening roar. Dust and smoke filled the courtyard, and silence fell. The predators circled it, sniffing, growling, but making no move to attack further. They had survived, and so had the humans. The human dropped to his knees, breathing heavily, looking at the massive body. "It's over," he said. The alien soldier came up beside him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "For now," she said, "but they'll come back. And next time, it might not be alone." The predators began to retreat into the forest. Their golden eyes lingered on the humans, a silent acknowledgement of what had been done. They disappeared into the shadows, leaving the outpost battered but standing. The commander approached the human. "I don't know what to call you anymore. Soldier, hunter, savior." The human wiped blood and mud from his face. "Call me whatever you want," he said. "Just know this isn't over. Not for them, not for us." Far beyond the outpost, deep in the forest, new movements stirred. Packs of predators were gathering, and a shadow larger than the last creature slithered silently beneath the trees. Somewhere out there, survival had become a war, and the human had only just begun. The outpost had been rebuilt, though its scars remained. Soldiers patrolled cautiously, predators kept their distance, and the human walked through the mud-stained courtyard, blade in hand. The alien soldier joined him. "You look calm," she said, her voice low. "After everything we've been through?" The human's eyes scanned the distant forest. "I'm not calm," he said. "I'm ready. Something is coming." The commander approached, exhausted but alert. "I hope you're wrong. I don't think the outpost or anyone here can survive another attack like that." The human shrugged. Then we'll make sure we do more than survive. We end this before it even starts." Night fell, and the forest seemed to hold its breath. Then, from the darkness, movement appeared, hundreds of glowing eyes, larger than before. The humans raised their rifles. The predators appeared too, moving in patterns, circling the edges of the outpost. The Alpha's son stepped forward, golden eyes locking with the human. "You want them to fight with us?" the alien soldier whispered. The human nodded. "Yes, but this time, it won't be just a fight. It will be a trap." The glowing red light began to rise over the horizon again. The awakened creature had returned, larger and more terrifying than before. Its shadow stretched across the treetops, shaking the ground with every step. The humans and predators could feel it coming. The human yelled orders. "Move the barricades. Lead them here. Use the traps we set last time." Soldiers scrambled. Predators spread along strategic points, and the human ran to the front line. "We do this together, or none of us make it out alive." The creature burst into the clearing, its massive body crashing through trees, leaving destruction in its wake. It roared, a sound that made metal rattle and mud quake. The human leapt onto a ruined wall, slicing at smaller predators that had been drawn into frenzy by the creature's aura. "Focus," he shouted. "Weak points only." The Alpha's son growled, signaling its pack to strike at the creature's flanks. Humans fired energy rifles, and alien soldiers hurled explosives at precise angles. The creature swung wildly, crushing anything in its path, but it was being herded into a trap. A massive net of energy barriers dropped from the rigged towers, boxing the creature in a narrow pit. Its roar echoed, deafening and enraged. The human ran to the pit edge, looking down at the writhing beast. "Now!" he shouted. Predators leapt onto the creature's back, tearing at its spines and eyes. Soldiers fired from every side, focusing on the joints, the glowing red sections of its chest. The human jumped down, slashing with his blade at the exposed underbelly. The creature thrashed violently, throwing several attackers aside, but the trap held. The human landed near the Alpha's son. "We finish it together," he said. The predators roared in agreement, leaping in synchronized strikes. The human drove his blade deep into the creature's chest. Energy from the beast's glowing core erupted, sending a wave of heat and light across the battlefield. The humans shielded their faces while the predators held on, claws digging in. When the light dimmed, the creature was still but no longer alive. Its enormous body smoldered, cracked and broken. Defeated at last, the Alpha's son sniffed the air, then looked at the human. It growled softly, not in anger, but acknowledgement. Slowly, the predators retreated into the forest, leaving the human standing victorious, battered but alive. The alien soldier leaned on the human, breathing heavily. "I can't believe it. You actually did it." The human wiped his blade and looked out into the dark forest. "It's over, for now." The commander stepped forward, eyes wide. "You saved us all. Not just this outpost, but probably countless others. I don't know what to call you." The human shrugged, voice calm but firm. "Call me a survivor. Call me a fighter. Just know this, we fought smart, we fought together, and we ended a threat that could have wiped out everything." The alien soldier smiled faintly. "And what about the predators? Will they come back?" The human looked toward the tree line. "They might, but they'll remember something different now. We aren't prey, we're hunters." Far in the distant forest, packs of predators gathered, but they moved cautiously. They no longer hunted humans immediately. Something had changed. Somewhere deep below the ruined structure of their old stronghold, the faint glow of red still pulsed, but weaker now. The humans' words echoed in the minds of anyone watching. Survival wasn't just about fighting. It was about strategy, unity, and knowing when to strike. And somewhere out there, in the shadows, new dangers waited. But humanity had learned. And now they were ready. The outpost stood silent in the dawn, smoke rising from the battlefield. Soldiers, aliens, and the human walked among the debris, exhausted but alive. The human looked at the sunrise, a faint smile on his face. "We survived, and next time we hunt first." The alien soldier nodded. "And maybe, just maybe, the galaxy isn't ready for what comes next." The forest whispered in the wind, carrying the echoes of battles fought and victories earned. Humanity had faced impossible odds and had prevailed. The story ends here, with suspense lingering, a victorious yet tense resolution, and a clear setup for potential future battles.